middle of this year, British Minister Boris Johnson announced a plan to leave the bloc within England. Great Britain was one of the countries most affected by COVID-19. By the end of last year, 120,000 people had died caused by the coronavirus. It was the first nation to start a massive vaccination campaign. Johnson said there were 4 phases tending to restriction in the country. The school will reopen on March 8, but prior measures had been taken such as sanitizing the classroom and giving personal care lessons to students. The second is to open all stores by the middle of the following month, clarifying that it will only take place in outdoor establishments. The third will begin in May with social contact rules removed. The last step is to lift all the rules of distancing from June 21st. Johnson, before finalizing, warned these days might under change since there was the reopening of activities since the beginning of the year, but the modification suffered by the virus. It might change the aforementioned dates and postpone time.
Is their part by following the rules? Then I hope we can steadily move out of lockdown, reopening schools after the February half term and starting cautiously to move regions down the tiers. I want to say to everyone right across the UK that I know how tough this is, and I know how frustrated you are, and I know that you've had more than enough of government guidance about defeating this virus.
Many people in Nigeria had the coronavirus. It was bringing problems for hospitals. They had not enough oxygen. People needed oxygen to live. Oxygen is in the air that people breathe. COVID-19 patients sometimes need oxygen from a tank. They had problems if they tried to breathe alone. Many people became sick in autumn or fall. Hospitals had not had oxygen for so many people. Factories which made oxygen must make more of it. Officials decided to build 2 new factories. They wanted to make even more factories in the future. It was difficult to know how much oxygen hospitals had needed. Some patients were very sick. They needed a lot of oxygen. Some patients did not need oxygen at all. A team of people made a small shelter for homeless people. Homeless people had not had a home. They were sleeping in the street, but it was too cold a winter. The team tested the shelter first. They tested it in the German city of Ulm. The shelter protected people from cold and wind. One person could be inside. It was a safe place. The shelter had a door. The door had unlocked in the evening. A homeless person could go inside. Social workers were got a message that somebody was inside. Social workers had checked the shelter in the morning. They cleaned it. Somebody else could use it the next night.
USA, two women dressed up to look like grannies because they wanted to get the coronavirus vaccine. The women were wearing gloves, hats, and glasses when they arrived to the vaccination site. They changed their birth years in vaccination documents, and they hope that they will get a vaccine. In the USA, people who are 65 and older get the vaccine first, but the women were only 35 and 44 years old. The staff saw that the birth dates in the documents and the birth dates in their licenses were different. A police officer asked the woman to leave, and he said that they could not come back. Apparently, the woman had gotten the first shot. However, it wasn't clear where. Some people want the vaccine, that's clear. But in the USA, are people that will try anything to get it. And this is we have other case, the story of a man who tried to trick health workers with his father's documents because his father had the same name as him, and he tried to trick them using this information. And that's all. Thank you for watching.